Welcome back, guys. So today what we're going to be working on is multiplying polynomials. You just finished your lesson on adding and subtracting polynomials. So you will use that in this one, but first we're going to do multiplying. Okay, and the very first step is you write down the polynomials next to each other, like what we see at the bottom of the page. Make sure that you're multiplying, not adding. A lot of students do this. They forget and think, oh, I'm just going to add the like terms together, and they get a very wrong answer. So we definitely don't want that. Second step is we're going to do FOIL. Remember, I like to do two different methods. If you like FOIL, great. If not, I have another one, and I'll talk about that next. If you were in class, we would have done both of them, and we would have done it on a flip chart, but we're not in the classroom. So you have the online version. So the first for FOIL, and it is only for binomials, FOIL is first, if I can spell, first, outside, inside, and last. And I'll show you how to do it, but I have a different way to do it too. So what we're going to do is, and then step 3 is combine like terms. I'm going to skip the very first one, and we're going to do the ones below it, which are a little bit easier to do first. And I would suggest writing these down so you have your notes. So FOIL, you should remember in IM1, we would do distribution, right? So 4 times 5 is 20. Add the x. 4 times negative 1 is 4. That's it. Now, this one, what we're going to do, this is where you would bring in FOIL. So you're taking that 4 in, and it's very similar, but I like to do my method. Take that first number, multiply it to both of those. So 4n times 3n. Now, n times n is n squared. 4n times 6 is 24n. Now we're going to take that 6, the second number now, and multiply it to everything in that the second parentheses. Plus 18n plus 36. Now we want to combine like terms. And so we're going to get 12n squared plus 42n plus 36. And in the next couple weeks, we're actually going to start with this problem, your answer, and we're going to get the ones at the very top as our final answer. So we're actually going to go backwards. That's it. We're going to go forwards and backwards. All right, next one. Let me change color because it's a little tight in here. So we're going to take this negative 6, multiply it to everything in the second parentheses. Negative times negative is positive. 6 times 6 is 36n. N times n is n squared. Negative 6 times negative 4 is positive 24n. Then we're going to take our 4, our second number, and multiply it to everything. So 4 times negative 6, 4 times negative 4, and then combine like terms. And usually when you're doing it this way that I'm showing you, it's almost always going to be the middle, almost. Remember, sometimes it doesn't work. So you're almost always going to be that middle number, the middle two that you combine. And 24 minus 24 is 0. So all we get is 36n squared minus 16. And you guys know I always like to jump around, so I'm actually going to go do number 5. Then I will do these bigger numbers in a minute. Now, the squared here in number 5, all that means is write the problem again. And you know me, I can't write. Get that off. Just forget his thing. You guys know I'm always texting, or always messaging back and forth, not texting. So the square just means you write it twice. So once you do it twice, you're going to do it the same as those. And I want you guys to try that. And you're going to multiply the first number to both of them. So 4 times 4. 4b times 4. And you know me, I have to write a capital B because my lowercase b sometimes look like 6s. And then take the second one, multiply it. A lot of 16s in this one. And there you've got your answer. Hopefully not too bad. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead. Let me see if I can get that. Nope, can't get rid of that. So what we're going to do is do number 3. So this one, we're going to do the same thing, but you see that second polynomial has 3 of them. So we're going to distribute it to all of them. So it's just 3. And 4, and remember, if there's no number, it's always a 1. 4, we know it has a k. We have 1k here. We have 2 k's here, so k squared. You're adding the exponents. It's just cubed. The only time you add the exponents is when you are multiplying. Then 4k times k and 4k times 5. Okay, then we're going to take that -4 and multiply it to all of them. So we're going to get -4k squared minus 4k minus 20. Combine like terms. Always start with the largest. It's usually going to be first. Then we look at the squares. 4k squared minus 4k squared crosses out. 20 minus 4, we'll get 16k. And then our last one, -20. Now, the big one. This little nasty one. Okay, we're going to do it. And it's very similar to what we've been doing. We start with 1. And we're going to distribute it to everything. And since I'm going to run out of room on this one, I'm just going to write them right underneath. So, but the first one, x squared times 4x squared. So 4x to the 4th. To the 4th because we have 2 and 2. Then x squared times -7x. So -6x cubed. X squared times 5, -5x squared. Now I'm going to, just because it's a little bit trickier to do, whoops, not that color. There we go. I'm going to then do the second one, doing it to every one, okay? So -5 times 4, 4x squared. So squared and an x is going to be 3. I'm just going to write it right under it, and it's going to be -20x cubed. -5 times -7, it's going to be plus 35x squared, because x times x. And then -5x times -5 is 25. And then the last one, -1 times everything. And -1 times 4x squared, it's just going to be, oh, I forgot an x right there. Sorry, you guys. It happens. You're not here to help me, guys. So -4x squared, -1 times -7, and then plus 5. And the nice way when you write it down is all you do is add down, and then you get your answer. So we get 4x to the 4th, -7 minus 20, and then we get -5 plus 30. -5 plus 35 is going to be 30 minus 4x squared. And then we get 25x plus 7. And you get your answer. So this is version 1. So this is using FOIL. In the past, half my students like FOIL, half of them like the other. And if you wanted to just remember, just going to multiply it straight through. If you want to color code your own notes, you know how much I like notes. And then that's it. Now, next method. You guys all know I used to be a biology teacher too. I still am a biology teacher if they ever need me. And if you guys remember in biology, the genetics unit, the Punnett squares, this is very, very similar to it. It's the very same thing. We're going to be making a box. This is called box method. We're going to be putting our numbers on the top and the side, and where they meet, the two numbers meet, we multiply them. You will get the exact same numbers as what you did on FOIL. Doesn't matter. I like this because it's a little bit more organized. So we're going to try it. And this one's a little small, so I might have to write them on the side, do it different. This is a 1 by 2, so if I wanted to do a box, it's a 1 box by 2. So 1 by 2. We're going to put our numbers on the sides, -6, 8x, 8k. I am messing everything up today. Sorry, you guys. 8 times -6. Let's see if I can fit it in. -48k. -7 times -6. Whoops. 42. And then you just write it right out. Now with ones, it's very simple just to do the FOIL version. Now with the next one, where it's a 2 terms by 2 terms. Much easier to do a 2 by 2 box. So 2 across, 2 down. It really doesn't matter which one you choose to go on the top and which one to go on the side because you're multiplying them. 4 times 2 is the same as 2 times 4. So -5r minus 1. You want to put the sign with it. And then 2r minus 2. Where they meet, you multiply them. So these two multiply, so -5 times 2, -5r times 2r. 2r squared, remember, r times r is r squared. -1 times 2r. And then -5r times -2. And -1 times -2 is 2. Now, one of the reasons I do like this one is that everything that's in a diagonal, like this one, will always be added up together. Really makes it nice. Usually the biggest is going to be the top left. We're going to write that one first. 10, and then the diagonals, 10r minus 2r. And then our last one, bottom right, goes last. Not too hard, right? Okay, let's try number 4. It is a 2 by 2. Oh, I thought I'd made this one bigger. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we get 2n squared minus 4, 2n squared plus 4. Just helps to change color when I'm doing it. So 2n squared times 2n squared, fourth. 2n squared times 4, we get 8n squared. Remember, we always add the exponents if we're multiplying. So -4 times 2n, and 4 times -4. And again, if you see the diagonal, they both have squareds, so are ones that we have in common. So we start with our top left. 8n squared minus 8n squared crosses off. And so all we have is our bottom right one. All right. Hopefully you guys got that one. Let's try number 5, and then we'll go on to the biggest one. And remember, with number 5, that squared just means you have to write another negative 5a squared minus 6. So we're trying to squeeze that in. And we're going to do a box. 3 and 6 I'm going to do just below it. It's going to make it a little bit easier. Draw our box. It is a 2 terms by 2 terms, so it's a 2 by 2. So negative 5a squared minus 6, negative 5a squared minus 6. Multiply them with what you put in the middle. So negative 5a squared times negative 5a squared. So negative 5 times negative 5 we get is 25 positive. A squared times a squared is a to the 4th. 2a's plus 2a's. Negative 6 times negative 5a squared. 5a squared times negative 6. And negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. Combine like terms, remember, and if you remember, the ones diagonally. And it will show up when we do our bigger ones in the next problems, okay? Put them together. 25a to the 4th plus 60a squared, so we're adding those two together. And our last number, plus 36. Oops, sorry guys. I need to move that down here. Wrote it in the wrong place. There you go. All right, so the next ones. These will be the bigger ones. So I'm going to do number 3. Ah, why did I do that? That's close. Because I'm still in the wrong pen. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to start with number 3. Okay, this is a 2 by 3. Let me write it right down here. It's a 2 by 3, which means you can write it this way, 2 by 3, or you can write it up and down, a 2 by 3. It doesn't really matter what you're doing, but since I want to make sure I have enough room, I'm going to do it the first version. Oops, that won't show up very nicely with it. So we're going to take the negative n minus 3, and then the 8n squared minus 7n plus 6. And we're going to multiply the ones that meet. So this one, 8n squared times negative n. I'm going to get negative 8n to the third, because n squared times n to the 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. Now we're going to go negative 7n times negative 1, 7n squared, negative n times 6. And I know my 6's look like B's, so that's why I do capital B's when we do them. And then we're going to do all those top numbers times the bottom, which is the negative 3. So 8n squared times negative 3. And this time the negative 3 doesn't have any n, so we don't have to add them. So negative 7n times 3. And negative 3 times 6. And just like I remember I showed you before, yeah, making sure you guys can see it, the diagonal ones, you can combine them. And since we have it a little bit longer, or a little bit more, you have 2 you can combine. So we always start with the top left, because that's usually 99% of the time, that top left one is going to be the first one. So we're going to go negative 8n cubed, 24 minus 7. My subtractions are not that great today, sorry. So 24 minus 7. You guys, I'm brain dead today. I'm sorry. 17 squared. 21 minus 6. 14. That's plus 15, sorry. 15n minus 18. And we get our answer. Oh, goodness. All that. But it's much more organized than the other way. So this is why I like this one the best, but I really don't care which one you do. All right, let's try number 6. Last one. So number 6. This is a 3 by 3. So we want a much bigger box. Make sure I have enough space. A 3 by 3. And we're going to put one of the numbers on top, one of the polynomials on the bottom. I'm going to just do here that first one. And remember, you do have to keep the negatives with the sign. You don't have to do the positives, but you do need to do the negatives. And then where they meet, you multiply them, okay? So 6p squared times negative 6p squared. So we're going to get negative 36 p to the 4th. Negative 6p times 4p, negative 24. Make sure I see that. P squared, and p means p to the cubed. And anything times 1, that's the nice one. We just get it back. Negative 6p times p squared to the cube. Negative 6p times 4p. And negative 6p times 1. And then 5 times 6p squared. 5 times 4p. And 5 times 1 is 5. Now again, with the diagonals, we have these two that both have cubes. We have these 3 that have squareds. And we have these 2 that just have regular p. So makes it really nice organized. So we're going to get negative 36 p to the 4th. And then we're going to get negative 24 minus 36. So big minus 60 p cubed. And then we get 30 minus 6, which will give us positive 24, minus 24. So these all cross out. 20 minus 6 is 14p plus our last number of 5. And then we're done. So pick which one you guys like, and this at the end of the week, you guys will have a end of the week check or understanding quiz. Good luck.